On tonight, our scripture reference is Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 through 28. One of the things that we are often told to be careful about is making sure that we do not misuse our resources. There are very few, if any, resources that are limitless. Whether we talk about things like oil, even water, resources in nature, or talking about resources such as how much money you have, how much time you have, how much energy you have. Whatever resource category you're looking at, you never want to mismanage a resource because resources are limited as they are not abundant in supply. One of the resources that we must be careful not to overextend ourselves on is our energy. We don't recognize that sometimes we burn energy in ways that is unhealthy and in ways that takes from us our ability to do other things and to be more effective in other areas of our lives. An example of that is the energy we spend on anxiety, on worry, on trying to fix problems that can never be fixed through anxiousness and worry. Jesus addresses this issue in Matthew chapter 6, and in particular in verses 25 through 28. This passage of Scripture is what is known as the Sermon on the Mount. It is a message that addresses specific principles and broad areas of spiritual development in hopes of helping his people and ultimately helping us even today to learn how to be better, to be more effective, and to operate more efficiently in God's kingdom. One of the things that Jesus says in Matthew 6, verses 25 through 28, in these words, in the common vernacular, worry doesn't fix problems. Consider verse 27, where he says, and I quote, "Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature?" I'd like for you to think about all of the problems that you have had. Name one that worry has fixed. What Jesus is saying in verses 25 through 28, and as we look specifically at verse 27, is that it is irrational for us to be anxious, to be frustrated, to be consumed with worry, because it's a means of misspending our energy. Remember, resources are limited. Therefore, we have to be careful how we use those resources. Do you know that when you are consumed with anxiousness, with worry, with frustration, that you're burning energy that can be used in other efforts of life to be more productive, to be more progressive, to be more successful? The devil will allow you to become consumed with a thought, consumed with fear, consumed with apprehension, creating more questions than there are answers. Paranoia. This not only affects us mentally and emotionally, but it also affects us biologically. Did you know that when you are mentally and emotionally stressed, that it affects your body negatively? Did you know that you can have high blood pressure, not as the result of diet or exercise, but as the result of stress? Did you know heart attacks and strokes, again, may not be the result of diet or exercise, but can be the result of stress? Did you know that you can have stomach aches, digestive system problems because of worry? Did you recognize that perhaps at some point in your life when you were sick, it was not a biological cause, but a biological effect because of a mental and emotional cause. When we worry, when we stress, toxic enzymes are released into our body. They weaken us, they affect us. And as those toxins are released into the body, our heart, which pumps blood throughout the body, then is circulating that toxicity throughout your entire being. And so, depending on your physical makeup, it may land and affect your kidneys, where it affects someone else's digestive system. It may affect your heart, where it might affect someone else in another aspect of their body. So Jesus is teaching us here not to find ourselves anxious and worried because it's a misuse of energy. It's a misuse of a limited resource. Now, Jesus is not telling us to ignore those things which are important. He's not telling us to act as if our realities don't exist. What he is teaching us is that we have to trust God and have faith that God will see us through. Remember, recently we talked about two words found in the Hebrew letter, by faith. I'd like to give you the challenge to look at your life and see which problems worries have fixed. And then look at your life and see what has happened when you have given those things to God. Moving forward, by faith, know that God will see you through. By faith, trust God. Worry is dangerous, it's toxic, and it's a misuse of a limited supply of a valuable resource. Give it over to God. Sit back, relax, and watch God do what only God can do. This has been another installment of A Few Minutes with the Minister. We hope that you are blessed in these days of anxiety and frustration. Let go and let God.